Oh there, RC here. I'm going to do a video on air bases. I'm just going to move some of these units back to where they came from. And we're going to show you a couple of things about air bases. So you got air bases on the map here in green, or airfields, whatever they're calling them now. I think they're calling them airfields. Last game they were called air bases. So it is what it is. Alright, so you can see them here. They're in green. They're all over the place. And you can build them yourself in any land zone. They cost a total of $6, 3 per turn for 2 turns. And they can be damaged for up to 5, but that any damage at all, and they are useless. So you have to repair them before you can use them. Alright, so that could be an issue for you. Strategically anyway. So yeah, placed any place. They get +1 movement for all aircraft, but that aircraft has to start there, right? You can't fly over an airbase and get a bonus move, right? You can't start from here with this air transport, get +1, and then fly past that one and go +2, and then, you know what I mean? It's only 1. You don't get a cumulative. You can't double down on air bases. Even if there's 2 air bases, let's just say we bought a second air base for this location here in Western Germany. Now you got 2 airfields. That does not count as +2 bonus. It's only +1. Just means that if one of these 2 gets damaged, you have an alternate airfield or airbase. All right, so that's that. Now, there's another thing you can do if you have I'm going to go into Scramble here, but first I'm going to cover this seaplane base. The seaplane base is also built in the same zone, just as an example. And from a seaplane base, you can scramble 3 seaplanes to an adjacent naval battle. So that the only places that would be adjacent would be on this side here or here, right? You couldn't scramble them to there. All right. And seaplanes cannot scramble to fight in Berlin or Bavaria because that's not naval, that's a land battle, right? However, air bases allow you to scramble 3 fighters to an adjacent battle. Now, specifically if you look up 8.6 in the rules, air bases, just like in version 2, this is version 3 rules by the way, air bases allow its owner to send up to 3 fighters into combat in adjacent zones where it has at least 1 defending unit that's already there, right? Scramble is declared at the end of the attacker's combat movement. So before you start rolling the dice, but after they've shown all their combats. So they don't know if you're going to scramble or not. So they might want to send a couple extra things in. Let's just say the British are doing their turn here and they're sending all this Navy in here. That's an easy kill, right? But if you have the ability to send 3 fighters from here into Scramble there, and 3 fighters from this one as well, that's 6 fighters, and 3 seaplanes, that's 9 aircraft you could send into that battle. That totally changes the odds, right? Now, that's dependent, of course, on you having all those aircraft. I don't have them all on the map, but that's the maximum you'd be allowed to bring in, right? So now let's look at another. We're going to move down here. That's the naval battle, right? And since it's a naval battle, you can send the seaplanes in there. However, you would not be able to scramble if that was an amphibious assault to here and those boats were out of there, and there's no naval battle here. You don't have any defending units already, so you now cannot scramble seaplanes, and you cannot scramble fighters into that zone, right? So they do their amphibious assault, they drop some dudes off. Now you have different options for scramble. You can scramble from an adjacent air base in Berlin, up to 3 fighters into here to join the fight, and you could scramble 3 more from Bavaria to join into that fight over there, right? These air bases wouldn't be scrambling because they're already, every aircraft that's in that zone would already be engaged in the amphibious assault, right? So that really changes the game. The fact that they've added Scramble to be to adjacent land battles as well. Of course, you have to have a defender in there, right? Now here's another example. If, let's just say, none of these units were in Bavaria at all. Absolutely nothing. Right? We'll leave them. And then the French just walk this dude in. You cannot scramble to here because there's no units defending in this zone already. Right? So the French just take it. You can have your 6 fighters there and you can have 3 more here. Total of 9 fighters, but they cannot scramble into a zone when there's not already a fight. All right. And that is about it. I'm not going to go over the details on fighters and the seaplanes and whatnot, but that's how Scramble works. So air bases, just as a sum up here, are already on the map. They're in green here. You can buy one and place it in any zone, including a zone that already has an air base. There's no limit on how many you can put in the same zone. So that's up to you. They do not give you a cumulative bonus, so having 6 air bases in the same zone only gives you +1 movement from leaving there, the same +1 you would get if there was only 1 air base there. All right. Once they're damaged, they're useless, so you got to repair them before you can use them. And that was the point I was going to make. Let's say you were gonna, the French are attacking this place. You still got 1 dude in there, and the British know that you have all your fighters in this spot here. The British can on their turn bomb these airfields and just cause 1 damage, which means they're useless. You cannot scramble from there. Then the French can come in over here, and there's a fight here, but you can't scramble from damaged bases. So these 2 bases are out of commission. You can only scramble from Berlin, right? So for that reason, keep an eye on your air bases. You might want to keep them repaired. And if you're getting your air bases bombed, that might be a sign that you're going to be getting attacked next door. It's a new strategy that might come into play in the game here now. All right, and again, seaplane base. That one there gives you the opportunity to scramble. Let's just zoom that in. Seaplane base there gives you the opportunity to scramble 3 seaplanes into an adjacent naval battle. All right. And there you go. That's scrambling and air bases and seaplane bases. And just remember, scrambling does not start a new combat. It only joins one that's already existing. Anyway, RC here saying see you later. Enjoy the game.